Grit, perseverance and patience. All three things which really define Sanjiv Puri as an individual. His tenure as chairman of ITC has been full of twists and turns. When he took over as the chairman of ITC, the tobacco/the cigarette business was plateauing. The FMCG business did not reach scale and size. The paper business and the hotel business was going through a cyclical downturn. But today, ITC is firing full cylinders. The shareholders are mighty delighted that the stock is at an all-time high. Return ratios are speaking for themselves, and he's managed to turn around most of the businesses. So what is the secret sauce? What is the binding force which is connecting ITC, a diversified Indian conglomerate? And we are here at a mega factory of ITC to understand that really the journey and the process and how ITC is becoming future ready. Welcome to See You at Work. I am Nikunj Dalmia, and ET Now is coming from a mega factory of ITC. And it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to have the man himself, Mr. Sanjiv Puri, chairman of ITC. Thank you so very much, sir, for having us on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikunj, for coming here. It's always a pleasure to interact with you.
So we are standing in what looks like an industrial factory to me, and I've been told that it just produces everything which I consume on a daily basis: chips, juices, and lovely chocolates and sweets.
Yes, very much. It's a foods factory. It's one of our larger setups. Just to give you a little dimension, this facility has more than 1 billion square feet of built-up area. It's an integrated consumer goods manufacturing and also logistics facility. And we've been building such facilities with a strategic plan of creating structural advantages for our business. And from this facility, for example, and such other facilities, we have multiple dimensions of such structural advantage. First and foremost, to win in the market, our strategy has been around product differentiation, product quality, and product quality is very, very critical to us, and also being able to deliver to the consumer at the lowest cost. And this facility ticks all the boxes, and so do other ICMLs. And let me exemplify. This facility houses state-of-the-art technology. It is a hub of innovation, both product and process. We ship out at our size where our consumer spends of FMCG brands is 29,000 crores. We're daily shipping out between 50 to 60 million packs a day. What we have to do is to make sure each pack adheres to the strictest standards defined, and that's where technology processes plays a role. Now, as far as the the other structural advantage piece is about being more responsive and therefore servicing the market better, and it's about the cost advantage. And how do we get that? We get that, first of all, for scale, the economies of scale and scope, because there are many all our food categories in one facility. This facility, for example, last year shipped out about 100,000 tons of products. In the built-up space itself, we can go to 2 lakh. And we have adjacent area, so we can actually, multiply it 3 times over. So it gives me scalability. How many
factories you have right now?
We have 11.
Okay.
But on the cost efficiency side, this is not all. There is more to it. So on one hand, this factory it's a digital factory, so all optimizations are possible. It is maximizing usage of renewable energy, so efficiencies are coming in. It delayers our logistics. It removes one leg of logistics because products flow seamlessly to the warehouse and are shipped directly to the distributors. So proximity to the market also optimizes our logistics costs, also improves freshness in the markets.
What are these?
And in addition to this, I was just coming to this, that's the third leg of the efficiency. You see, we have all our facilities to the extent permissible. We do backward linkages with the agri value chain. That's where our agri business comes in play. So they also have a team here.
Okay.
So here, for example, our facility has got an integrated mandi.
Okay.
So the farmers bring their wheat produce here. It's electronically weighed, instant payment, and they don't incur any handling charges that they would incur in other, typically in the mandis, and they get immediate payment. And for us, there's efficiency in procurement.
Yes.
There's logistics, handling, all of that, no gunny bags, etc. And, let me also add that what gives us a greater amount of satisfaction is not merely the efficiency, but also because through our agri business, we are able to work with the farmers and help them improve quality and productivity. So their incomes also go up. For example, in the catchment area of Kapurthala, stubble merging is very minimal now.
Yes.
Because over time we have been working and educating farmers on the benefits around it. And we're happy to say that most people have seen the benefit and adopted it.
So this is where the wheat comes in?
This is where the wheat comes in.
Okay.
And then it will be automatically transferred to the...
And that's how we will move. So from wheat to a biscuit, everything is going to be made in this factory.
Biscuits, snacks, your beverages, juices.
So the mantra to come to an ITC factory is that skip your breakfast and then come.
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Puri, I must say that the whole experience of standing in a biscuit factory where biscuit manufacturing is real and live, I think is tempting and is making me hungry. But I'm sure everybody is also hungry to understand that what really has been the secret sauce that ITC ke अच्छे दिन ने बहुत अच्छे दिन आए. In last 3 years, stock has gone up, margin has gone up, and the business per se and the company per se has got completely recognized again. It's like a new avatar.
So thank you, Nikunj, for those kind words. Let me say that what we've been working on in last few years as part of the ITC Next strategy is really to execute the structural drivers that are going to give us the next horizon of growth, profitability and competitiveness. And while doing so, we cognize for the fact that we are today living in a world where uncertainty is a true character. And it's like not over medium term, but it happens within a year. So organizations necessarily need to be very nimble, agile, and consumer centric, because this poses challenges and also any change is also an opportunity. So therefore, the starting point for us has been how we organize ourselves. So we've organized ourselves in terms of empowered teams focused on product market clusters. And then we have pressed the accelerator hard on certain tools that are important for competitiveness. So be it digital. And digital is now mainstreamed in our company. It is part of everybody's job, whether it is agri-sourcing or procurement or operations, manufacturing, consumer marketing, commerce, the works. Everywhere it is there. Since pre-COVID days, our, for example, in FMCG, our digital commerce is up 7x. Our investments in marketing through digital are up 4x. In our paperboard business, just by Industry 4.0, we have got 230 basis points improvement. The second is sustainability. And sustainability because of multiple reasons. One, it's of course a very rightly an expectation of stakeholders. Consumers are slowly, very clearly saying that they want to be associated with companies that are climate positive, companies that are bringing up sustainable solutions. So in hotels, for example, the world's first LEED certified net zero carbon hotels are all ITC hotels. It's also about the manner in which you're going to build resilience in your operation. And for us, we also see this as an opportunity to build new business models that can actually add to our competitiveness. The integrated fiber chain of PSPD is one, for example. The third piece is innovation. And it's not merely about making innovation more impactful and purposeful. I think what is important in this fast changing world, innovation has to be agile. It has to be fast. Right from inciting to markets, it has to be at a much faster speed. So that's where both digital and creation of platforms comes in place. And the fourth piece in every business is about not merely efficiency in supply chain, but also resilience and agility. How do you embed all these parameters together? So these are the pillars around which we have been working across all the businesses. And of course, it's a journey. I won't say everything is already done, but I think we have made appreciable progress. And there are multiple initiatives ongoing to take us to the next level from what we have done.
So let's first look at the big picture in terms of the revenue. The tobacco contribution is coming down, other businesses are moving higher. The tobacco business contribution is less than 40% now. As the chairman of ITC, are you satisfied with this kind of a diversified mix, or you need to bring the tobacco revenue further down as percentage of the total kitty?
So, you see, you're right. Our non-cigarette revenues are about 2/3, and non-cigarette EBITDA is also now 28%. It is becoming significant. And all these are growing faster than the rate at which the overall company grows. And today, 80% of our capital employed is actually in the non-cigarette sector. So that's where the investment is. So from our perspective, it's about providing industry leading performance in each one of the segments. That is the objective. It is about leadership in every segment, not merely because of size, also on account of product or the services. We want leadership. So where we are already leaders, the idea is, can we progress further? Where we are not leaders, we need to become leaders. In some of the newer businesses, some categories, we may not be leaders. The idea is to become leaders there. So that's the way we look at it. But because the opportunity and our investments are aligned towards the newer segments, naturally over time, I think they will grow faster. They will occupy a bigger salience in our whole kitty.
Mr. Puri, the FMCG business of ITC, the general view was that it was a disruptor first and an innovator second. It was a disruptor because it came in the same product category. It had advantage of cash flow which came from the tobacco business, and you were able to build brands by disrupting the market and the category. Is that true?
I would not agree with that. You see, we have where we have built strong positions. It is on the back of product innovation and product quality. Ashirwad is a leader today because it can give you the finest qualities of rotis. And that's not a simple exercise. It is not just about, it actually starts right from working with farmers to grow the right kind of wheat, the right varietals, to make sure that we can make the best quality of atta. In biscuits, we first got recognized for Chocofills, which was a disruptor, but disruptor on account of innovation.
Yes.
All right. So that's the way. If you look at beverages today, or if you look at juices, we've brought in this year itself juices with bits, smoothies. We brought in, juices with proprietary immunity ingredients, ABC juice. We brought in protein shakes. So it's all about innovation and premiumization. Is where our soaps, for example, Fiamma, do well because it's a highly differentiated product. Classmates is a leader because of the quality of the notebooks that we provide. And we are able to also do it, I must say, because we are able to leverage institutional synergies well.
And a distribution network, of course.
And distribution network and institutional synergies of the agribusiness for foods the hotels business, and distribution, of course. And our large innovation center, the ITC Life Sciences and Technology Center. Incidentally, it is the largest private sector innovator in the country. This is based on a third-party survey that was published.
So, Mr. Puri, when the FMCG business of ITC was incubated, everyone said the cash flow of the cigarette business is going into a low margin business. And if the FMCG business is demerged, the ITC tobacco business will be re-rated. But do you think in the future, FMCG business, the fact that it has got incubated, would actually add more value to the shareholder rather than dragging the return ratios down?
The FMCG is a sector that has got immense promise in India. Given the per capita incomes, given the penetration level, we've got immense potential. We have in fact crafted a portfolio, and we are building a portfolio where there is huge headroom to grow. Analyst points out that we have the largest addressable space of 5 lakh crores by 2030. That's in what we have. But as we go along, we will add more things also. Right? So it's a continuous process. So there is huge headroom to grow there. And it's a business that we have into in many spaces. Foods is our largest space. We are also into stationery. We are also into agarbattis. We are also into personal care. So there are many dimensions of growth we have here. And we believe that this will be certainly be a lot more value accretive with passage of time. We have seen in the last medium term itself that not only has the today our size is 1.5x of pre-COVID. Over a medium term, our margins have expanded by 770 basis points. ROCE has gone up by 1340 points. And we are not there. We are not done as yet. The journey continues. We believe that we will expand margins by, aspiration is 100 basis points every year. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And we have laid a strong foundation with our trademarks, with our innovation capability, with our digital capability, with our distribution highway. We have not really tapped the potential of exports. We've just started in the short term to put the distribution apparatus in place.
So some of your brands can actually be exported, the one which are made in India.
We're already exported to 60 countries. But the headroom to grow is huge because it's early days.
So just to bring that point again on the FMCG business, you are in the top quartile, certainly top 3 in terms of top line. But in terms of profits, you are not there. In terms of margins, you are not there. When do you think you will be able to reach the top quartile from an industry standpoint? 3 years, 5 years, or more than 5 years?
So let me give you a little perspective on this. Our FMCG business includes a lot of gestating costs for facilities like this, which are designed for scalability, incubation of newer brands. There are certain older brands that are big, and because the older brands are able to make more and more surplus, they are able to offset the gestating cost here. So we are improving, and we will improve by 100 basis points every year.
Okay.
And what is it that will? I think what is more important is what is it that is going to give us this 100 basis points. On one hand, it is premiumization.
Okay.
And what do I mean by premiumization? It is about premiumizing within the same category. Examples being Fiamma Naturals range, examples being Chocofil's Desert collections.
Chocofil has become that big for you?
Yes, it's a big brand. It's a big brand, and we also have a Desert collection now.
Okay.
Then it's about using the large brand to address more value-added adjacencies. Dark Fantasies is also into milkshakes. Ashirwad is into frozen breads. It is into fresh paneer. It is into ghee, and so on and so forth. It is into rava, besan, vermicelli, all value-added adjacencies. And the third piece is, India has also become a very aspirational society.
Yes. Yeah.
Bharat is premiumizing. So here it is the challenge here because the requirements are low there, is to have that kind of supply chain to be able to service Bharat with premium products, and yet, because largely they are food products, to make them remain fresh. So we've got some innovative supply chain solutions there. And then on the cost side, also we are pressing the accelerator high. One is, of course, naturally with economies of scale and scope we will gain. The other is, I gave you this example of this facility itself, how we are optimizing logistics, how we are de-layering operations, how we are integrating not only logistics but back-end, and then digital. Digital is becoming a very effective tool to optimize our operations, remove costs in facilities, in logistics, and in sales. And in sales because it leads us to better effectiveness. Just between last year and this year, our sales effectiveness has improved by 17% because of deployment of multiple digital technologies. So there are many things that we are working on, and we will...
The pieces are all coming together.
Yes.
So, Mr. Puri, what we understand is that large part of FMCG capex, the critical capex, is over. The business is now cash generation, which is generating free cash flow. So, can one assume that now you will have more cash in your kitty, so dividend payout ratios will improve? You don't need that much cash because most of your businesses are now self-sustaining.
Already we have a very handsome dividend payment policy.
It can always increase more.
80 to 85%.
Yeah.
I think the balance we certainly need as growth capital, because it's not merely capex. It is also, for acquisition. Inorganic growth is another vector that we have identified. So both we have to service. And let me put it this way, that earlier our capex was maybe much higher as compared to the size of the business, because we were building the foundation and we were building for scale. Now,
okay,
also
sir,
we will...
You can actually pick up a biscuit here, and I must say that
we will continue to invest.
I must say some mom's magic. Right off the shelf, right?
Yes, absolutely. But let me finish the piece on
Yes,
capex.
please, yeah.
I must finish it. See, now we will, it's not that we are not going to invest, we will invest.
Yeah.
But it will be more calibrated and in the context of growth and size. And of course, technology upgradation and so on and so forth. So, at a company level, last year we launched 5 facilities. Construction of 3 more have started this year. 2 are food plants.
So you already have 11.
11 ICMLs.
Okay.
The 5 is across businesses.
Okay.
So now we have started 2 food facilities and 1 facility for sustainable packaging.
So
ICMLs, yes, we have 11 of them.
the fact that what capacity you've shared with us and the fact that how much these ICMLs can be scaled up to, you are really confident of the market and demand growing, because if you're investing and with the ability to expand in the future, that means that you really expect the categories you represent, the growth is not going to be incremental, it's going to be exponential.
The idea is to continuously deliver industry-leading growth, and what gives us the confidence is that we have established the right to win.
Industry-leading growth is incremental. The capacity you're building is telling me that you're preparing for exponential growth.
Well, it's like this. It's like this, that while we create the civil infrastructure, the line addition is in consonance with the market growth. Okay, that's how we do it. Because in a food factory, it's not a smart idea to keep on constructing.
Right.
So a lot of hygiene and hygiene standards have to be very, very strict here. So if we are to scale up beyond what we have constructed, it will be a completely isolated construction, adjacent but isolated. Right. So that's the point I'm making. Capacity addition will happen.
Okay. So before we move from the another unit, from biscuits to chips, everything is in one unit. I told you I've come with a hungry stomach to the ITC unit. What are the new businesses which you're incubating, which you think in the medium term, 3 to 5 years, will add at least 1,000 crore of top line?
Okay. So I will tell you in 2 parts. Let me tell you in FMCG, and let me tell you some completely new category. So businesses in the medium term that will scale up are newer categories that we are incubating. One are certain adjacencies that Ashirwad and Sunfeast are getting in. Two are newer categories like beverages and juices. Third are categories like the frozen snacks or the frozen range. It is gone into frozen breads and snacks and so on and so forth. Out of that, for example, in personal care, it will be categories around hygiene that we are building, categories around floor cleaning, Nimile that we are building. Within FMCG, there are, categories we are scaling up and categories that we are addressing and categories that we are establishing right to win, and we will scale up in future. At some point, we will also scale up chocolates. Right now, it's in incubation phase. Outside of what we are doing today, but it is in a way connected to our enterprise strengths. So what we have said for ourselves is that wherever enterprise strengths can be leveraged to ride on a trend of digital or sustainability, which are mega trends of the decade, we will be in those businesses. So there are three we have already started executing with an encouraging start. One is what we call ITC Mars, which is a platform, a digital ecosystem to empower farmers, usher in next generation agriculture, adds to competitiveness of agriculture, competitiveness of foods business, and on its own, it's a business model. That is one. The second is sustainable packaging. The world is moving away from plastics. So we are already in the market with products that are made out of board. Now we are investing in a plant to make molded fiber-based, plant fiber-based products, complex, highly engineered shape.
The coffee cup is going to be not made up of plastic, it will be made up of a plant extract.
That is already done.
Okay.
That is already done in our paper board.
Okay.
The only thing we have done is we have replaced the poly coating with a bio-seal.
Okay.
This will be a completely different category altogether.
Completely eco-friendly.
Completely plant-based fiber.
Plant-based fiber.
The third area we are looking at, again, synergy between foods and hotels are our cloud kitchens.
Interesting.
Very interesting. We have four cloud kitchens in Bangalore, 4 brands,
Okay.
17 kitchens.
Okay.
So you can put it 4 into 17 outlets.
Okay.
Done quite well. Now we have decided to build the tech stack,
Okay.
prepare ourselves and take it beyond Bangalore. So all these businesses, I think, have got potential to be over time big businesses.
And they can potentially add 500 to 700 to 1000 crore turnover in medium term.
Yes, all of them have the potential. All of the potential is there.
Okay. So we are just at the unit where the biscuit manufacturing for ITC is done. We hop across to the second unit where the crunchy chips are actually manufactured. And I must say that's a treat for Eating Out team to come here. From biscuit to chips to juices, everything is at this mega factory. So Mr. Puri, let's divide the businesses into a curve. That's what business cycles are. They start young, they reach a teenage growth phase, then mature, and then they start declining. Tobacco, which phase of the curve you are in?
See, as far as tobacco is concerned, it is certainly a mature business. Let me explain it. You see, legal cigarette consumption is only 8% of the full basket in India. Illicit is equal to a third of legal industry, right? So really, as far as that business is concerned, is really the interplay between illicit and the whole basket of consumption, right?
Do number, ek number.
And the larger basket of other formats of consumption, most of which are also made in unorganized sector. They evade regulatory and so on and so forth. So it's the interplay in a stable taxation situation. We have seen not only in the recent past but earlier also that the industry is able to claw back and industry is able to grow. So that's the determinant of that. You see, last year we know, if we go back to 18-19 also, when there was stability, revenues went up, of the government went up 10%. Earlier, in a period of few years where the growth was, of tax rate growth was 15% plus, revenue growth was under 5%, right? Because that time illicit took a jump. Okay, so I think it is really that interplay that will determine how much or this category will grow. But remember, it is only 8% of tobacco basket consumption. And in stability, evidence has shown, data has shown, some gain to legal industry, as you said, number 2 to number 8 happens.
But do you see that change which has happened over the years, 1%, 1.5% every year? Can that be suddenly 3-4% because of government intervention? We understand number of raids and other checks and balances are in place. Could there be 3 years of very rapid market share? For example, when GST came, a lot changed for the unorganized economy. Do you see that change happening in the tobacco industry?
With stability, and also, I think I must also congratulate the policymakers for the focus on enforcement. I think deterrent actions, both of this are certainly aiding the growth of the legal industry. Now, in that situation, I think industry will grow.
Okay, the hotel industry boom like never before, occupancy rates like never before. Sanjiv Puri has said at the AGM that we will divest the hotel business at the right time. And when there is a boom time, it's always a good time to divest. Why don't you divest now, sir?
First of all, let me first say that I didn't use the word divest. I said alternate structure.
Okay.
We are not exiting the business,
Okay.
right? Because it is important for us also from a synergy perspective. There's a lot of synergy between foods and hotels, for example, right? So we are saying we will look at an alternate structure. We held it back during COVID period. Once the COVID is over, we have said that it is back on the table in line with industry recovery dynamic. And some time back on a similar question, I had said, yes, industry has recovered, so it is very much on the table and it will be taken forward maybe in a couple of quarters and things like that. So it is very much on the table. And let me also tell you that besides the synergy, let me also say that while the hotel industry is doing well, I think the opportunity in India in tourism is immense. Economic multipliers are immense, and for the first time, the Honorable Finance Minister in the budget brought out a very clear vision, very powerful vision of creating 50 centers of excellence. I think and that is fundamentally because there is a huge potential, huge economic multiplier, and so we want to scale up, and that is why we have adopted an asset right strategy, combination of management contracts and whatever assets we are building will help us grow faster. And we are adding almost 1 hotel a month.
But Mr. Puri, 2019, when you mentioned the fact that you are looking at creating alternative structure, not divesting the hotel business, the lay of the land was different. The capital requirement was different. FMCG cash flows were different. Could there be a case that you may not consider creating an alternative structure for the hotel at all? Because the things have changed after when you spoke about it first versus now.
So our strategy for hotels has not changed.
Okay.
When I spoke about it, I spoke about asset right in first time in 2017.
Yes.
And we are staying the course. Whenever you look at how you organize yourself, you have to look at your business strategy and look at the pros and cons of the alternate structures that you have got. And our position is the same as what it was earlier. With the asset right strategy, I think an alternate structure is best for creating sustained value, and we will create an institutional mechanism to make sure that we continue to leverage the power of synergy.
Mr. Puri, if you have to use that bell curve to understand where businesses fit in, the tobacco business, cigarette business comes in the mature curve, but FMCG business, which is a 20,000 crore turnover business, you're in the top three quartile, or in the top quartile now. Would you still say it as a young and a high growth business for ITC?
Absolutely. See, in the categories that we are into as of today itself, I said our addressable space is 500,000 crores. And there are more categories that we will be getting into in future. It is also our youngest business. It is also a business with the, where per capita consumptions, penetration levels in many categories of branded produce is limited. The huge headroom to grow, no doubt about it. And that is what is making us invest and build up for scale in future.
Did you get excited when the stock crossed 400 rupees and made a new high?
Well, it is always nice to hear that because ultimately it makes all stakeholders happy, it makes shareholders happy. But, always we must come back and understand that the role of management, and this is something that it is so irrespective of where the stock price is, the role of the management is to put our heads down, roll up our sleeves, to build competitiveness, think about the business tomorrow and day after, and of course the here and now and today, make sure we deliver competitively superior value, and we leave the market to determine the valuations. So yes, it feels nice, but the task for us continues to be the same, continues to be building businesses, getting them to the next level of growth and the next level of performance.
But before we wrap, if I say that the sum and summary of our today's interaction is that ITC is now genuinely entering into the high growth phase. Will I be correct?
We will definitely deliver, and that's certainly our aspiration, to deliver industry leading growth and financial metrics and leadership in product quality also. And what we are really doing, what I've narrated to do, is really the building block to create an enterprise, what we call as a future tech, because technology from all dimensions, particularly digital, is going to be very pivotal. An innovative company, inclusive and climate positive company. So I think all the building blocks to succeed are the foundations are there. I would never say that we have done it all because it's a journey. Every time we have to discover the next steps and take the next step. But that's the way we are progressing, and that's what gives us immense hope and optimism.
But sir, you're not answering my question. Are you entering into a growth of high growth? Margin expansion, you already said. All I'm saying is that the growth from last 3 years versus next 3 years, if it's going to be higher, according to your assumptions and narratives, then ITC is entering into a growth phase, high growth phase.
We do not give guidance of that nature, so I will refrain from giving that. Certainly, what we have stated, I'll reinforce. Aspiration and objective is to give industry-leading growth, continuously improve our financial metric, be it profitability, be it capital productivity. So that's the way we are moving ahead.
What is a day like in Sanjiv Puri's life? What time does it start? What time does it end?
Well, it starts from home itself, from the morning itself when you are planning the day and gathering some information. So after that, after that piece is done, which is pretty earlier in the day, then from about 9:30 you kind of are into the full agenda of the day. Most of the time, of course, is spent on interacting with various colleagues and or reviews on certain aspects of each business.
You've been a
And
factory man.
sometime, of course, one keeps to really absorb and think about the next steps.
You've been a factory manager. You manage large factories. You've done various roles at ITC. How do you miss that role of yours? Because now you are managing a very different kind of role for ITC.
Well, I've enjoyed every role that I've done. I think in every role, there will be challenges, there will be opportunities. You have to, it's the way you look at it. So I've enjoyed every piece of it. Every piece has been a great learning experience. And the great thing in ITC, it gives you a lot of freedom to pursue the new ideas you have, to challenge the status quo. It empowers you, gives you all the tools to be able to do to actualize your potential. So every role has been enjoyable, extremely fulfilling.
Really appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so very much for hosting us at this lovely mega factory. And I must say, it's really been an experience for Team ET now to understand the scale, the sheer size, and the efficiency at which some of India's one of the biggest mega factories functioning. From biscuits to chips to beverages, everything is in-house. And for me, that is really the future preparedness of ITC, how they expect the ecosystem and the demand in India to grow. So ITC means Hindustan, and Rise with India is all about ET now.